Hi there, welcome. Today's practice is going to be intended to help us get out of a slump. So whether the slump is we're working too much and we're sitting too much and we're just sedentary, or maybe the slump is we've kind of hit an emotional collapse or freeze state, these practices are going to help us bump up our energy just a little bit in a way where we can get moving without too much effort. So let's start by lying down. You can lie down with your legs outstretched and just give one big sigh of an exhale, followed by a deep, full breath in. Then you're going to roll your feet so that they're mostly parallel. The center of your heels are on the floor, and you're just going to tap out through the toes and balls of the feet. So both feet are doing this at the same time, creating a rhythm. It's like you're tapping your feet as if you were waiting impatiently. And what you want as you tap and your feet are doing this movement is that the rest of the body is free enough or loose enough that it begins to rock. And if you take a peek at me doing this, you'll notice that even my head is bobbing with this movement. And you can do the movement fast, you can do it slow. And I would say do this for a solid minute and let that undulation, that pulsation of movement start to bring a sense of energy back to you. You don't need to think about it too hard. Just let the body receive the pulsations. Do it for maybe 15 more seconds, 10 more seconds. Faster if you want, slower if you need. And then release that effort, relax your legs, and sigh out the air again. Now, if your eyes are closed, my guess is they would be when you did that. Just open them and be aware of where you are now. A lot of times when we're in that collapsed state, we're kind of triggered with some past stuff, or we're caught up in our head with work and we're not really here. So as you roll to your side, and you begin to sit up, just let your eyes and ears take in what's happening around you for just a little bit longer as a way to orient back to where you are right here and right now. Then we're going to stand, and honestly, that practice alone, you could just do that. If that's all you have time for, that's going to get some stuff moving. But if you've got a little more time, you're going to grab something that you can use for balance. I'm going to use my stick mobility sticks. You could use a chair or a wall. I like these because I can put them on either side of me, but whatever works for you. These are just going to be for balance. That's all I'm really doing with them. And all I'm going to do from here is, without really looking down at my legs at all or anything, I'm just going to take a natural step forward, like I'm walking, and I'm just going to reset so my foot's on the mat entirely. So that staggered stance, one foot in front of the other, that's what we're going for. We're not even trying to do it perfectly. And we're going to start to rock the weight forward and backward. And again, you can push it down with your hands, you can hold a counter, whatever works. And you might find that your back heel lifts a little bit when you do this. Keep the knee a little bit soft on both legs and let your hips move side to side and front to back in this kind of pulsating movement. As you go, just a few more passes, think about that front leg, whichever foot is forward, doesn't matter which one it is, tracking so that the foot and the ankle are centered, one right on top of the other. And the lower leg and the upper leg bone, those two bones, or it's actually three bones, but they're meeting in a way that's perfectly centered and lined up. The joint is magically balanced, and that's traveling all the way up into your hips so that the next time you rock forward and you lift your back heel, you're going to see if you can swing that toe off the ground and just balance for a moment. So we're stacking all the bones on the standing leg. And if you could have some imaginary inner measuring tool, the inner leg, the front of the leg, the outer leg, the back of the leg, those would all be evenly loaded and evenly working. When you feel like you have that, just begin a little bit of pulsation. And you can go fast. I like to go a little bit slower, like an exhale to bend and an inhale to straighten. And this isn't about doing like a deep squat. It's just about kind of moving some energy through the body and loading the joints in a way where nothing is feeling too compressed, too over or under stretched, anything like that. And after you've done a couple bend and straightens, just place that back foot back down and switch your feet out. So you're gonna start standing with both feet near each other. You don't have to think about it or look. We're not trying to take a giant step, just a small step forward like you're walking. For this one, I'm gonna turn sideways this time so you see side view. So the feet are landing naturally, whatever that means. Use something for balance if you need, and then begin to move your hips forward and backward. It's really like the beginning, like gait 101, the beginning of the hip part of this movement of shifting the weight back and forth. And as you're moving, you're kind of feeling into that front leg, and you're trying to keep your knee pointing in the same direction as your toes. You're not letting it twist to the right or the left or lock out too much, so that all the joints are like centered, one on top of the other, so that there's an evenness about how you're loading that leg in terms of weight. And as you continue, start to lift your back heel. And as the weight rocks forward, you can just soften the front leg. So in terms of walking, this would be the moment when you would swing the other foot forward. We're kind of breaking it down today. And excuse me, as you load that front leg, next time you come forward and your back heel lifts, pause, and then see if you can elevate that foot. And you can just do it wherever it feels right to you. It doesn't need to be anywhere special. But instead of worrying about where the lifted leg goes, where can you place the bones of your standing leg such that it feels evenly loaded? Maybe even all the way up into your hip and low back, where there's a sense of fullness, of completeness, of evenness, not really worrying about the shape and what it looks like. And then just beginning a pulsation of bending and straightening the standing leg. Again, not going for like max squats here or max depth in the squat, but just can you pulsate a little, move some energy through the body and track the joints in a balanced, supported, even way. So nothing is over or under working. There's no over compression or compensation. It should feel to the nervous system good. Like, oh, nothing's wrong over here. I can keep moving. Muscles might get tired. That's a different thing. Either way, you're gonna place that foot down that's lifted and just pause again for a breath. And then we've got one last one here. And you can do this without any sort of form of balance support like the sticks. I just like them. So this one, you're gonna take your feet a natural distance apart. You're gonna soften both knees, just like a little mini squat, and you're gonna elevate onto both heels. You don't have to go to your maximum with that, but you're gonna try to keep your heels off the ground, and you're gonna begin to pedal where one heel lifts higher and the other one goes lower. So as you go back and forth, try not to lean too far back or too far forward. It's not particularly easy because there's a lot of balance going on here. And the really cool benefit of this is it's bringing your mind right here into this moment. You have to focus so you don't topple over. This is a great way to get yourself out of stuck stress, a dorsal vagal kind of collapse of being stuck in some past story, or to just get back in your body after you've been in your head too much. So just go maybe one or two more times with that movement. I just turned sideways so you could see the other view. And then we're gonna end with both heels up, power up to straighten the legs. On exhale, release your feet to the floor. If you do have something for balance, as I do here, you can just put that to the side. And we'll do a quick little movement for the arms. We're just gonna inhale the arms all the way up overhead. And on the exhale, we're gonna give a little flick with the hands on the way down. So it's one exhale broken up. Inhale, you reach overhead. Nothing perfect about how to do it, just flick. Get off that energy, move it through you. One more time. Inhale, breaking up the exhale into pieces. Bye-bye, bad juju. It's all gone. Thank you so much for this little quick refresh and for practicing with me today. I hope this helps you to bring a little surge of energy and find some balance in your life, whether that's physical, emotional, or in any other way. I appreciate you practicing with me today, and I look forward to seeing you next time.